Good morning, students. Yesterday, means in the last class, we have completed B reading, which is poem. In that, we have seen about Rabindranath Tagore view towards his mother. It is a poem of mother. Do you remember it? The name of the poem was My Mother. It was written by Rabindranath Tagore, and we have completed that poem. Today we will see C reading. It is a letter to a friend. Hyderabad, 12/11/2012. Dear Suresh, means if you write a letter to your friend, how you will be addressing? Normally, if you write a letter, how you will start the letter? First you will write your place and the date, isn't it? Place, date, and you will address your friend's name, isn't it? The same way, this letter is written between two friends. It is means expressing their views. So the two friends is Suresh and Ramesh. So who is writing this letter? Ramesh is writing this letter. To whom? Suresh. We will see this letter. Dear Suresh, this is Ramesh. I apologize for not meeting you during your visit to Hyderabad last week. Unfortunately, I had a meeting in my office. I remember how we enjoyed our childhood days in Manikonda village. Every day we played together in our garden. Our family was very big. There were 12 members in our family. I remember how we played in the moonlight. Our grandma used to give us fruits and biscuits. Our grandpa used to tell us fairy tales about the prince, warriors, and the village boys. So they are recalling their childhood. So, first he is saying that this is Ramesh. I apologize for not meeting you during your visit to Hyderabad last week. When Suresh visited Hyderabad, he was unable to meet him. So he is apologizing for not meeting Suresh. Apologize means say sorry for doing something wrong. Means as he was unable to meet, he was feeling sorry for that. So, firstly, he is saying that I apologize for not meeting you. I had a meeting, means unfortunately, I had a meeting in my office. He is saying the reason why he didn't met him is he was having a meeting in the office, and he is saying that I remember how we enjoyed our childhood days. So he is saying that I remember that how we have enjoyed our childhood days in Manikonda village. He is explaining about their childhood. See, every day we played together in our garden. They used to play together in their garden, and they were saying, and he is explaining that our family is very big. Totally, there were 12 members in their family. He is saying that we have 12 members in our family. I remember how we played in the moonlight. He is saying that he remember that how they have played in the moonlight, and our grandma used to give us fruits and biscuits. Their grandmother used to give them fruits and biscuits, and their grandfather used to tell them fairy tales. Fairy tales means stories about fairies and magic. So he their grandfather used to tell them fairy tales about the princess, warriors, and the village boys. Now I am working at Microsoft as software. Now I am working at Microsoft, a software company, Hyderabad. as a computer programmer. I am married and we have a child. My wife works at Dell, Hyderabad as a system analyst. You know, city life is quite busy. We start in the morning, leave our child at the baby care center, and come back in the evening with faded faces. We hardly find time to sit together. How disgusting. We work with computers, think like computers, and live like computers. We often forget our family. So he is explaining his present life, saying that now means he is working at who, Ramesh is working at Microsoft. It is a software company in Hyderabad, and he is working as a computer programmer, and he is married and he has a child. His wife works in Dell, it is also in Hyderabad, and she works as a system analyst. He says that city life is quite busy. We start means he is explaining his day, how it begins. So he's saying that we start in the morning and they leave their child in a baby care center and come back in the evening with faded faces. Faded means less bright, means uh, tiredness, means they return back to their home with tired faces. We hardly find time to sit together. He's saying that they find less time to sit together. How disgusting. We work with computers, think like computers, and live like computers. He say that as they work with computers, their life also became like computers, means they think like computers and they live like computers. We often forget our family. Sometimes they forget their family. I remember how we played gilli danda, hide and seek, and kabaddi. We went for swimming in our local tank every Sunday. Here we live in an apartment where there is no room to play. Our flat is our world, just like a well for a frog. So he is comparing their childhood days with the present life which they are living. So he is saying that he remember how they have played gilli danda, hide and seek, and kabaddi. I think you know hide and seek and kabaddi. And whereas gilli danda means rural sport of it is a rural sport of India, played with a played with a short stick and a long stick. So he is reminding all those things. And we went for swimming in our local tank every Sunday. They used to go for swimming every Sunday. Here, so in now he is saying that here we live in an apartment. Apartment means a set of rooms for living in, usually built in stairs, where there is no room to play. Our flat is our world, just like a well for a frog. He is saying that uh, in our childhood we used to play so many things, and we used to go for swimming in our local tank. But whereas now here we live in an apartment where there is means there is not a playroom, means yeah, there is not a playroom for them to play. And their apartment and their flat is their world, just like a well in a frog. Means normally if a frog lives in a well, it feels it as it is the world. So in the same way, they are also feeling as if the flat as their world. How happy we were in our school. We used to sit in the same row, did all the work together, and took part in the events. I remember how Padmanabhaya sir, our class teacher, appreciated us when we got the first prize in district science fair. I remember how we went on a picnic to Koil Sagar. There we went boating. Our tour to Srisailam was memorable. Still, I remember the green hills full of trees that almost touched the sky. I remember the roaring of the Krishna river at the dam. There is nothing here. I wonder at my child's silence. He always sits in front of the computer and plays games, never caring for anyone. So he says that how happy we were in our school, means he is reminding his uh, school days and saying that we used to sit in the same row, did all the work together and took part in the events, means they used to sit together and they used to participate in all the events. I remember how Padmanabhaya sir, our class teacher, when appreciated us when we got the first prize in district science fair. So he also reminds that how their class teacher, who was he, Padmanabhaya sir, appreciated them when they got first prize in district science fair. He also remember that how when they went to picnic to Koil Sagar. There they went to boating, and also their tour to Srisailam was memorable. He's saying that he is reminding all those things. Still, I remember the green hills full of trees that almost touch the sky. And he's saying that I remember those green trees which look like as if they are touching the sky. And also he says that he remember the roaring of the river Krishna, means the flow of water. He's saying that still he can remember that uh, pressure of water flowing in the dam. There is nothing here. He's saying that here in the city there is nothing here. I wonder at my child's silence. He'll be wondered by seeing his child silently. And he says that about his child that he always sits in front of the computer and plays games, never caring for anyone, means he'll be always playing sitting in front of the computer and he will be playing games. I remember the happy moments when our uncle visited us. He brought toys and fruits for us. Our aunt brought me a new dress for Dasara. How we enjoyed Diwali. Still, I hear the sound of crackers. I can see the rockets flying in the sky, making the night full of light. Where are those days? My child doesn't know his uncle or aunt. For him, uncle and neighbor are the same. So he says that he remember the happy moments when their uncle and aunt visited their home. So he says that uh, his uncle brought toys and fruits for them, and their aunt brought a new dress for Dasra. And he remembers, means he reminds how they have enjoyed Diwali, and he says that still I can hear the sounds of crackers and I can see the rockets flying in the sky, making the night full of light. So he say that he is reminding his all childhood memories how they have enjoyed for Diwali. And he says and he is comparing their childhood with their present life, saying that where are those days. He's saying that those days are different because my child doesn't know his uncle or aunt. He's saying that his child don't know who is his uncle and all aunt. For him, uncle and neighbor are the same. He's saying that his child don't know who is his uncle and aunt. He don't have any difference between his uncle or neighbor who lives beside them, besides their house. Sometimes I think of our childhood days. I think of grandparents, uncles, brothers, sisters. He says that sometimes he'll be thinking of their childhood and he'll be thinking of his grandparents, uncles, brothers, sisters. We missed them, we missed the joy of the family, we missed their company, we are missing many things in this busy life. So he's saying that we missed them and missed the joy of the family, and we miss he's saying that we have missed them and the joy of the family and the company of the family members. We are missing many things in this busy life. He's saying that nowadays, as our lives has become very busy, by that we are missing our family life. Suresh, I don't know where those gardens have gone, those fairy tales, those fruits, those words of love and affection. We have lost our real life in this unreal world. So he is telling to his friend Suresh that, Suresh, I don't know. He's saying that he don't understand that there where those gardens have gone, and those fairy tales, those fruits and those words of love and affection has gone. We have lost, he's saying that we have lost our real life in this unreal world. Unreal world means now what we are living is a busy and mechanical life. So by comparing that, he is saying that we have lost our real life in this unreal world. Anyhow, I am happy that I have found time to write to you. Please come to me. Let's remember our childhood days of joy. So he is saying that anyhow, I am happy that I have got some time to write a letter to you, and he is inviting his friend to his home, saying that please come to me. Let's remember our childhood days of joy. He is saying that uh, he is inviting him to his home, and he is saying that we will remember our childhood days of joy. So this was the letter written by Ramesh to Suresh. I think you understood this letter. What Ramesh was explaining. Do you understand this letter? Yes, this letter. In this letter, we see that Ramesh and Suresh are friends. Ramesh lives in Hyderabad, whereas Suresh came to Hyderabad on some personal work. He asked Ramesh to meet him at certain place, but Ramesh could not meet him. For this, Ramesh felt sorry and wrote this letter to Suresh. In this letter, firstly, Ramesh apologized Suresh for not meeting him in his visit to Hyderabad. He remembered how they both played and spent their time happily with their families. He told Suresh about his busy and meaningless life. He told Suresh how he spent his time from morning to evening. He felt that his life in the apartment was just like a frog in a well. He he reminded Suresh many events of his childhood with him, like playing games, going to swimming pool, doing all the work together in school, going on a picnic, celebrating Dasara and Deepavali, etc. He pitied his daughter, who was always silent and spent all her time playing computer games in a very limited world. He felt that he missed the real world in city life. He felt that he missed everybody and everything in his busy life. Finally, he was happy that he had found time to write to Suresh and share his feelings. Isn't it? This was the overview of this letter. So here is a writing activity for you. Observe any 5 families in your neighborhood and draw your conclusions, advantages and disadvantages of living in a joint or nuclear family. So what you have to do is, for example, now if you take about a joint family, you observe the joint families and you draw a conclusion, means you have to write about the example. Now you are taking joint family, so you have to observe the joint family, means how their life and how the relationships in the family, all those things. And you have to write what about joint family advantages and their disadvantages. Or if you take about nuclear family, you have to write, means how the relations in the nuclear family, and you have to write the advantages and disadvantages of that nuclear family. So this is your writing work. You have to write this and submit it to me. And here are some hard words for you. Apologize, Hyderabad, unfortunately, Manikonda, fairy tales, warriors, Microsoft, programmer, system analyst, disgusting, swimming, apartment, appreciated, Koil Sagar, Sri Shailam, crackers, neighbor, affection, childhood. And also there are some meanings. Apologize, say sorry for doing something wrong. Fairy tales, stories about fairies and magic. Warriors, persons who fight in a battle or war. Faded, less bright. Disgusting, extremely unpleasant. Gilli Danda, a rural sport of India played with a short stick and a long stick. Apartment, a set of rooms for living in, usually built in stairs. Unheeded, noticed but then ignored. Appreciated, recognized the good qualities. Caring, feeling that something is important. Moment, time or occasion. Home assignment for you is write hard words and meanings in your notes. Students, I have given you hard words as well as meanings also. You have to write them neatly in your notes without any spelling mistakes. You have to learn the spellings of the words given to you, and you write them and you learn them, and you submit me after writing. Okay students, we will continue the remaining part of the lesson in the next session. Thank you. Have a good day.